thì khả năng một cho tới thì Google là hai lý có hai tham đó như thế lần từ họ của chỉ ra bỏ nửa luôn về thì luôn trên mua nhất cho họ nó là chỉ tất cả mùi tất cả tua họ từ telephone number tôi xứ thì có at least họ bỏ luôn về telephone xứ sa thì có sắp bỏ luôn về chuyện đó là image mà lấy sai họ recording thì thế là chỉ một cái nhà xe đó trên đầu nhá. Nhà sẽ được bỏ và cũng khó cô loop screen cô share nó sẽ được sai mà nhà bỏ nó chỉ xong đã khai cho cô.
Yes, we can.
Bây giờ thì cũng mất cụ pencil cho là show đi nó bỏ thì thế nào? If you can let me know.
Yes.
This is the first time cô use the pen cho là show she Zoom live recording đi nó chỉ. Cô need to confirm có thể bao thì nhà trả hay nhà nhà được cô sẽ chỉ bao tới rồi nó sẽ được nào. Okay, for session the no, for session at the how do I draw support and resistance? The cụ tụ khen draw support and resistance thì cụ yon draw lý trả nữa nè. Thế rồi nhẹ như thế chơi nhẹ là như yên draw nhẹ lý trả là thế mà mới từ cái tí mình cũng xong rồi cho cụ thì có cụ khiên draw sẽ cụ draw lý trả mình chỉ phần là cụ yo khiên mình gì thì cụ draw lý trả nó cho sẽ là tàu bao tàu bỏ thì trong sinh hơn draw lý trả thì thế rồi họ giống như là cụ draw xứ là nhau họ sẽ chắc họ cũng draw là nhau nhưng lý trả thế là họ chỉ cần ok một. Let me remove and draw another partition. Okay, basically, the chart nó đây là very clean chart. Chỉ mua đã chỉ做了零，你好做的要好我每 indicator 上那虽然也只来就出变到引导压力加一个啥的见的样的。How good draw support resistant support resistant mà sau đó những có thì nếu mà ở nhà ý nhà nó chỉ cho tất cả tất cả là nhà horizontal line mỗi ý nhà nó chỉ cho trend line thì sẽ cho trend line nếu mà có uptrend thì downtrend nếu có horizontal nó nhà tất cả thì chỉ sẽ ở hiện rõ trong lý giải nữa chỉ vấn đề chấp là cú yên go through mình chỉ cho hai thì và tất cả nó被tất cả nó cũng hay cũng rõ lý giải nhà tu thấu mà và cú sai hai thì tất cả nữ lọt cho được tư thiết nữ thì còn đó chỉ để rồi còn đó những cái khó và support bây giờ thì một cho số nữ thì đã khá lọt để rồi còn đó những cái khó và resistant chỉ một比例thì họ nó những cái khó support nhất trong đó hiện rõ tất cả nó cho để rồi lọt cho họ nó những cái khó support nhất trong đó phải tất cả nó cho giờ thì một số nữ thì đã khá lọt let's say something like this nó là cú giải khó cú act as a support như được sắp tới nó thế khó là nó là cú giải khó là nó chỉ ta bảo thì nếu có một số là nó chỉ so far nhất trong đó nó we can see clearly the support resistance I'm sorry resistance nhất trong đó nó same thing nếu tua đó nó nếu thì đã là tua đó nó thì đã là something like right here so let me make what cho nó có move to left extension make all these left extended Okay, one reason why you're more car line extend to shallow, you have the yellow machine, or not to shallow, but not. On the left hand side, should be more anything happening here or not. How come price will react right here, price will react right there, price will react right there, and many other places. And then make that 5-year chart. This line right here, you can see that there's something happening over here. You can see a little bit of a price rejection here. And a little bit of price lot test now, and maybe that is what's happening over here. Same thing as this line, you can see that price happening. Same as that line. Line kind of not really. Line how price need penetrate. This line has support right here, and it has resistance right here, and has more resistance over here. So the price then kind of more something happened in the past when the tele react the way it reacted over here. This is how I used to draw support and resistance. Okay. Let's say only the price call or reaction a line like this, I just don't care much about it. I just remove it because without the more any your strong support, strong resistance to price and get on a maybe there's only to fill a gap the nose according to on gap the measure the price reaction that's but in terms of previous data, there's really nothing there. Over here, it's just gapped up and price just never look back. So I remove that line. Something like this right here. The more test now, more test now, it came back to the same place. So you can expect that maybe price it's going to wiggle around a little bit and maybe fall back, maybe go right up. We don't know. But that is to be expected. Okay, so any questions in terms of how I do the traditional horizontal line? Sometimes the idea let's say, for example, this one here, I want to readjust a little bit up. I can move up, go and match everything over here so that it touches every single line over here. You can also do that too. Before I move forward, any questions about this? Speaker, microphone, I'm sorry. Microphone, chat, more microphone. Go ahead and ask your question, and so that I can clarify right away before I move to another topic.
So mainly, what are the candles that you use daily when you do this kind of analysis?
Because good cost strategy, daily chart.
Okay, daily chart.
So Kochi necessarily Yoshi daily chart. Let's say that we just do 15 minutes, something like that, and go on activate.
But mainly.
Go ahead. Which you not gonna.
Most accurate, basically trade style. What would you stick with?
I would do daily chart.
You do daily chart.
I do daily chart. intraday, when people ask me questions, I can come look at it and then I will respond based on what I see. But I personally don't usually put entries in here unless they were a crazy move on the day or something like that. To me, crazy move is like 下角一角 equal point on S&P 500.
Okay.
On normal, like for the last couple of days where it moved 20, 30, 40 points, that's just normal day. I don't usually do that on the normal day stuff.
So let's say that if you are swing trader on your would it be best to use daily versus the minutes
Again, based on Shaker swing trade, let's see Shaker was strategy in the initially ECM swing trade. Let me turn this off. Got teleport Chengminji. Just swing trade, but they would rather do 1 hour candle. So they go 1 hour and then they can just do swing trade based on 1 hour. So based on the 1 hour, if I or support the resistance, maybe something like this right here would be a line. Like here would be a line, and up here, the most recent high would be a line. A gap, this gap here would be a line, something like that. And you can see that the Gamma line and then extend when you extend that line over here, it kind of match over here, and you have to readjust it a little bit to make it.
Platform think swim
Yes, think swim.
Okay. It looks so easy for you guys to do it, but then when I try to do it, it's just so complicated. It's too advanced now. It's only it's not easy. The way I look at it was so easy, and yeah, it's like very clear, but not for me.
We used to draw linear, so that means that I no longer draw this way. Show this is how I draw it today versus what I used to do. Most people draw linear, draw support resistance, and then they can come back and readjust based on the price action in the past and the present time. Like this one right here, you could certainly readjust it down further like that. This one right here, we don't know that the price landed for so we might have to just sort of, and the low of the candle is almost touched the high of this candle. So that might be good the way it is. And where is my pencil? My pencil quit on me. So let me relaunch the pencil. There we go. So yeah, the price near the hourly candle, you can imagine it. Okay, this is the shoulder, the head, and the right shoulder is kind of forming. You might be expect price to come here before it bounce back up like that. But you don't know that because uptrend, which immediately talk about uptrend, this uptrend might continue. Not telling it might continue like that, or it might just wiggle sideways, something like this over here. It might try to, and then it just bounce back up. So which bounce generally, and then for me, for me, we are to I can only imagine, but my strategy is actually a lagging strategy where it just follows price. It doesn't predict where price is going to be. So for take lalu kanu sa hatia yang lihat as a swing trade.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Some people do hourly for swing trade, but for me, I do daily for swing trade. Okay. Another way that a lot of people will shy as a point of reference. It's more or less as a point of reference. Sometimes they can use it as a support resistance. Sometimes these numbers refer to the big fat round number. The rounded numbers. Let's say, for example, the spy you're talking about right now is so they will be looking for they'll be looking for paper they'll be looking for paper these are the big fat numbers that sometimes they base those numbers off of. And yeah, they come more the number that not chart will support the resistance. It a lot of time to match that now. So you don't necessarily have to be precisely exactly where it is, but your rounded number that your big fat numbers number the create your stepping stone to traders. And you have the to price now the number now it just hang around down here. It comes back and it bounce back to so sometimes these big rounded number can help you see the direction of the market also.
So the number always end with the zero.
Yeah, the big number was by it usually increment by 10, by 5,
okay,
by 10. Let's say you are one of the penny stocks traders. Your number increment by 25 cents. The stocks in between $1 to $10, the increment by $2.50. So from $1 to $2.50 to $5 to $7.50 to $10. The range penny stocks under $1 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents, $1. So the rounded number within to stocks là sẽ mình kể lý giải. The stocks only chỉ cho it could possibly go up by 10 or it could possibly go up by 5, increment by 5 or 10 depending shape or trader comfort level. And you look at the chart and then you can almost tell at the shape big fat round number. It's not always the same. These are not set in stone. They're more or less something to be conscious about. Linda. So a lot of time when we talk or when we put messages out there, we can group messaging posting to how you there, it's going to be 420. It doesn't have to be 420. That is just a rounded number. But sometimes we say it's going to be 410. It may not be 410. It may be just 49. In the real number that we know, it's going to be just 49, but we just round it off because that's the big fat number.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So when people say 410, don't project option price to 410. Strike price that may not be what we think in real numbers. That is just a round number, easy number we throw out there. So if you truly want to know, then message us. Okay, so another one is volume profile. Okay, volume profile chỉ có của sĩ ý nó là tiếp theo những cái bỏ thì oli chạy họ mua tê giả nó chỉ rong lên đời cho number này là chỉ là. So let me activate the volume profile, and this is a standard. Well, Thinkorswim more, and you guys have access to this. You guys can have it at any given time. It's not something that I create. The only thing I create is this is the one I create. This is the one I create, but that one is available. You can have it from your strategy here. And all you have to do is just type volume profile, and it's right there, and you can use it. Our volume profile nó là chỉ có set lại chart nó กูset your settings 那么是到的 chart you can do in minute you can do in hour you can do in day in most cases กู是 chart กู是 day ที่กู是 week นะlet me do chart first and then I can switch to day then I can switch to week and see how different they are okay เดี๋ยวขอว่ากูเขาว่ากูชี้อีกหน่อยที่กูชี้ under volume profile ลอง draw support the resistance the most easiest thing is that เท่าเดิมว่าอีกข้อ spike ที่นอนนะ when it has a spike like this that's an interest to me when it has a spike like this and the rest are really small like that this part has an interest to me like this big spike right here this one has an interest to me like this one has the most spike and this one is the next most among the most spike so จะน้อยจะว่ากูมี interest ชาติอีกแต่ก็ย้อน draw the line now based on volume เขา volume เนาะนำมาใช้ตัวเดียวโอเคเนี่ยตัวว่าเขา price เดี๋ยวนะ this price right here which is about 384 on SPY most people buy it right there or most people sell it right there นั่นแหละเดี๋ยวเขา interest เดี๋ยวน้องเดี๋ยวเขา interest เดียว okay when price comes down to here it will do two things one is it will just accelerate right down because you have a bunch of sellers right there waiting or number two is it will bounce back up because you have more buyers here than anywhere else น้อยนะor กูย้อน draw กูย้อน draw กูจ้า line จบเนาะ so กูจ้า line กู draw I basically copy this yellow line and that's that the next one that I would draw would be down here and same concept is that one right there with the most spike I would draw right there and same here I would draw right here and right there and up here I would draw right here ดีเนาะ so ที่กัน draw นี่นับได้เลยก็จะขั้นละโมว่าได้ chart นอนหรือดูมันก็ indication so you put on maybe an hourly a 4-hour chart you can see that don't draw it looks like that and if you extend the line the line will coincide with your support and resistance นะที่นั่นนะokay so that's volume profile normally could draw under 1 hour ระยะนี้จะมีราคาเตกุชิกุลิเตกุชิ daily so normally I draw กูจะ 1 year chart daily นะ let me remove all of that and redo it okay so กูปล่อย idea right here is a spike there's a spike there's a spike there's a spike right here is part of this whole big spike so a spike that now this would be an interest right there and there might be some right here the two here each part that's our lower boundary now in the more upper boundary now upper boundary now making more equal spike yeah so how I'm going to do this same concept draw a line it can be roughly about right here about right there about right there about right there about right there and push a rush here get there okay so we'll just take it that much so cho line này cho của muốn cho trong được có thể cho to up nó up cái week là này chỉ giá đi nè most likely mà your price nếu mua đó số nó it's going to stop right there giờ thì nếu mua top là số nó là something like these right here, something like that right there. The major trend is going down, so it's going to be going down, and it's a top level unless this is a new trend like this. Right here too, we may face our resistance or not. It is coming down to here, and then it will go back up. But I think my perception is that so something like that might happen. Okay, so Java support the resistant under volume profile, basically, and you guys have access to this. Any questions about this? Oh, Tachiaku Jinjakashai messaging Love Vang wrote here. Can you move your screen to the left? Which screen? I think you mean something like this. We already know. Type yes if this is correct. Anyway, log vang chỉ tao respond thì sẽ có bao nhiêu mua đủ nốt sắc nó chỉ mua là gì you can yeah take a sheet think or swim and có hai chỉ tao bao sắc feature đó là gì just go play around. You will see that this is very very helpful. In many time, this way you know for sure that your buyers are concentrated in at where on the price. Chỉ only a traditional support and resistance you are taught to draw where you think price might reject, like down here. Like right here, like right there. Because down the nona, chỉ cho mua price là mua, chỉ cho mua cho volume là mua support là. Vậy thì con rò nó trong số đó, what if price tiếp sau năng cái gap up cái nó số là xứ thì you might be having some issues with or support and resistance, as I always have from before.
So you have to control this way with the volume now. Okay, give us an example where you will place your order and get over your order. Is similar. The other support and resistance a lot, like where do you place your order and when do you want to get out?
Traditional support and resistance under volume profile. Expect that they react one way or the other. And it's okay like this. Then we power then you react. Okay. Extreme move so it will come back. Pay much attention to how they okay. There are no volume support. Volume. So to answer yes question, pay attention to the volume do a lot. Yes, I do. The volume the buyers and sellers are mostly interested in
But give us an example where will you place?
Okay, so example, we place will combine. I'm going to buy it and and it stay above the kind I buy right there, and then it goes up like this. Could you buy because underneath interested area interested area now it's going to break down very fast. Yet in the motor, it's going to go like this way down here to this line right there. If you come by, you might as well not do anything and just wait for price to come back to where you see for sure that it's going to do what you want it to do. So yeah, for answer the question, yeah. Type yes if that answers your question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something new. I never think this way, but it's something new.
Nhất trong đó cũng có very staticky. Thế rồi nhất của một application tấu thông là sao mình đi chào, but I hardly understood you. Let me close some of my programs down here. Close Google Chrome. Okay, I think this might be better. Any questions about volume profile? I mean, this is a crash course on volume profile. There's a lot more to it. If the initial interest though volume profile, I would encourage you to study volume profile and place your trade based on volume profile. The volume profile is far beyond what your support and resistance and a pushy volume profile under support and resistance the pushy 自己老师的什么 pushy 母 data 可能都不到还在 volume profile. Let me switch gear to another one that I recently used, which is pivot point. They don't need to pop dollar. Needs to pop dollar. It go how you get hot to clarify it with me because your pivot knot is a little bit new to me. But I found out that pivot is a very good thing too. Pivot, yeah, you call or standard. You have to all think was from a guy Sashi, like I she thought this. So let's see. Change to 15 minutes. Okay. Yeah, or pivot now, no automatically draw to call in a got you need to draw little. Nearly on the not tomorrow or price expectation and that. Cannot in the draw not more to who know. Cannot in the that's in the past now. So how idea and the pivot point now, not new more. ขอด้วนด้าเลยครับ point of control เนาะ要来找到ด้วนด้า了就好它做干了呢要它做我 resistant 做 TR 呢要做 resistant TR 手套做呢要做 support 做 support TR as you can see นู่นน่ะจิมุจิหลักตัวเลยเนี่ยยัง basically hug around it 做我 point of control นะสิyeah, the price 冇做少做呢，go expect 的这种你要 react 很老的时候，你都冇去做 price，它给呢你 almost touch 和 support 呢 at the opening，也你都提了的拍到手了，也就呢那么 you don't have to do anything， the system already draw everything for you， 也得可以啥做就后呢ซื้อ的了 ，you can basically just turn that to yes and everything else will be gone and just leave today and tomorrow. Vacations are 8:30 in the morning นะ chỉ cho tụi nó phải ta đó nếu mà cho tụi nó là sao So the Naya, what they call it, leading indicator. It's a leading indicator. Now again, they project the okay, no, the price range only now the tomorrow. Okay, anticipate the yeah, they move up, they move Bolina point, they move down, they move Bolina point. Nuchi necessarily mean that the result. Nuchi necessarily mean that the price you move in the very concretely in in most cases, price in the down. So let's take a look at the last several days. Like this one right here, you can see that or midpoint or point of control, and the price open, then the never shot bear, and then it's going to be bear all day long. The next day, okay, midpoint price gap up, then the last tall support or resistanceที่ in all, then the move push or resistanceที่ on. Touch saw resistance about almost half a day, and then it just shot up. The next day, the next day it opened right at the midpoint, and then it just reversed itself. Support 1, and then it tried to reach support 2, never really get there, and that's the end of the day. And then the next day, it's way up on the support 1, resistant 1, and then it just slowly grinding itself to resistant 2, and it closed right below resistant 2. So, your pivot point are one of the oldest trading system, or your traders like she computer systems, so they calculate like a number and trade based on the number. This is how they used to do it. Nowadays, it's right here in front of you. You don't have to calculate it. It's all there. Yeah, the interest out of you can just go research on pivot point, and you can learn all about the formulas and how they calculate it from top to bottom. It's really simple how this works. So, any questions about this? Okay, or chat in Jim show idea. Let's see what else before Jim. Okay, do a show idea. So volume is where people are buying. Yes, volume. The kind of volume profile for that. Volume. How do volume 到 shop 來嘅看到一個啲能有天摸到 shop 來到看到啲摸 volume 到個 price 呢？除咗一個嘅 volume 分到嘅一家 volume 話nhất là hồi nói này tôi lên một lên share nào chứ, right? Mostly we know that volume, but we don't know this volume. The volume đó ta nào. And there are two different ways on how you can look at it. Your volume nhất là hồi nói time volume. Lúc xưa hơn là let's say cho mong có mong quấy có mong tin năng có tin năng mua sẽ nên spike sẽ thức định lý trả chứ. You don't know where price really are. Cho tao nó cho mình một lọ tao nó là mà có chỉ bao tiền thầu tư là yếu lý. You don't know when they bought it, but you know where they bought it. If how where they bought it, nó còn là most interest chấp là as a trader, as an investor, because cái bao tiền họ chơi đời như họ và cho buyers most interested in, còn đời như call you most likely act as a support layer resistant to conduct. Okay, hopefully that answered that question. The next question, do you wait for the candle to close green above the resistance to buy? Of course, you always have to wait until the candle is closed. The candle to close now. Let's say this is your candle at this very minute, and this very minute is 7:49. ก็จะ support ก็จะ resistance เนี่ยตัวสองเนาะ and then นี่มี 2 minutes from now 1 move เก็บตัวสองเนาะ what if you buy right there at 7:51 and you have got more than 9 more minutes before the candle number fully form เอติเนี่ยจะก็อยู่ข้างนอกเลย and เนี่ยจะ1号จีเนี่ยสนองเนี่ยจะก็ป้องทางเราตัวพวกเราเลยก็ตัว candle ตรงนี้นอกนะก็ตัว candle ตรงนี้นอกเลย then you just bought way up here and then the candle closed way down here and we all know that this is a bearish signal for when everything is for a sequence of candle for something like say something like this candle right here 要得 scenario 中的可能呢，也个这里有不少呢了呢。Let's say this is your resistance and it went above. 也个这里有了呢 before the candle not fully formed. And what if the candle doesn't look like this? What if the candle falls back down to be your itu candle 中的ตัว的呢是呢？ and 中的ตัว candle 的呢可能是呢？ Then this is a bearish signal where it's going to reverse very soon. So ก็有จุดต่อกับว่าตัว candle เนาะ fully formed แล้วก็มาเลย you're at the opening of the next candle. And the next candle, which is right here, ก็อยู่ข้างนอก in the Malay more called bullish or sentiment แล้วก็นั่นแหละที่ต่อเขา better position หรือว่าก็จิตต่อเนี่ยจากที่เพจในเราบอกนะครับพวกเขาจะ you have you are in a hole at the time and it can be very difficult to get back to where to where you bought it. And I can tell you that I'm there many times and it's not pretty, it's frustrating. Okay, any questions about pivot? Pivot is very simple, but I recently used it and I haven't quite accustomed to it yet. The next one, Fibonacci. I'm sure all of you have seen Fibonacci and most of you may have used it before, at least read about it, know about it. Okay, so you draw to the chart every day. Fibonacci, draw mostly mà sẽ đợi như cho tan cho mostly mà sẽ đợi như check là tan cho lên. People check all of these and giờ ta check lên nó là những dòng thiết cho cũ nó chỉ đau đớn là rất chắc không mua đi like that cho cũ nó chỉ đau đớn là rất chắc không mua đi cho họ tự có activate trong đó xứ để được tục liên activate nó. It doesn't make any sense to activate so it doesn't matter unless priceจะกัดหลอดสรุปพวกnó để có đi activation được một sao tiếp một lại trong là cho chỉ là so mostly I just use what is needed but you can do one or the other, you can use it all. I know that mấy chia không như sẽ được chỉ tan cho thì họ để sát bỏ thì all the prices nó sẽ nhớ được họ tự say cho nó như họ tự all of it. But for me, I only want what I need, so therefore we cannot deactivate tan thao tissue. And currently Kushi to 38.2% here to 50%. That's it. It's a little cleaner for me, not too messy. But you can do one or the other, it's fine. Normally, could draw Fibonacci, you could draw the nature of how I trade it, the nature of how I invested, yes, we trade here longer term. 这不是不少和 top 的不好看吧的 small thing 的那就不是出谁呢？为了话的估计说我的 internet 就估计出谁的呢 ？But I'm sure that a lot of you are intraday traders and you may use how high the na, not how low the na, and that is perfectly fine. And she 38.2% could be like right here, and 50% could be like right there. But for me, Gucci she the Gucci pop on that. At the moment, Euro Tashinana market the Gucci the reach Ahacha Ika or yeah, kind of bluish and greenish color now. You know, the law show or right shoulder show law. Or the yellow line on the law show all time high show law. You can see at the price the bounce the what's up 50%, 50% of the Fibonacci or law show right shoulder law. This one is a much or 50% all time high law. The 38.2 law show all time high law right happened to be right below it, and it did not hold a shoulder. So therefore, beside there's a very narrow range. So price you try to either break down or break up from here. And if you want to intraday, you put change to range in your long range. Let's say 15 minutes. Range this is the range of 50% Fibonacci. So right shoulder 38.2 and right now as you can see price 你ตัว bounce around 你帮了做你提的的时候你没做的时候呢拉到了没提给这看了 and overnight price we really don't overnight price 就你和这看了之后呢就这看了 kind of 了我这看了么 test 好了这是 so for me this is a range bound thing for the last two days and tomorrow share price 你大概我 range bound 你拿多少了要你 breakthrough 这时候呢 break down 的好事 and the Fibonacci as long as you draw it it will put the number there for you and now I'm going to draw. I'm sure most of you have done that before, and it's nothing new to most of you. Let me change to something that I haven't drawn anything on. Okay. Okay, so all-time high is right here, and most recent low is right there somewhere. Because bubble number more chunky, and that's all I'm doing is I'm going to Fibonacci retracement, and I click up here, and I drag it down to here, click, and it will draw all these numbers automatically. And to readjust it, I'm not really good at eyeballing, so I have to put my mouse right there. And as you can see, it will show how high it will tell me the high number. If I put my mouse right there, this candle, the higher blow, and it gives that bubble right there too. Upper up or let's zoom in. This low is upper Dawson. So our Fibonacci block or block Oh, I got it right there. Block gì sai chữ ý. Họ nói nha. Upper total chua chứ mình nói upper total. Yeah, so we adjust that number. And all of these numbers will automatically calculate it for you. And there you go. These are your support and resistance based on Fibonacci. So let's say we put volume profile on it and see what the difference is. You can see that 38.2 is right here, is right by this group of volume, and it's also at the bottom or at the lower bound of this thing. So you can expect that price it will react to it. 50% is right here, and it's at the very bottom of this group of volume at the lower end of it. So at 50%, you can always guess that price there are prices not plus or not in the mality. But yet the plus or not the bone so yet the market is becoming very bullish in the future. So stuff like this, look for the okay. 2 or 3 different concepts, their techniques, right? Not your common areas of interest, the common lines, the not the most area go emphasize chocolate job. And in this particular case, I would think that for NASDAQ near QQQ, it's pretty much almost there. You could expect that price will probably react in the opposite direction. It may not because of all of these volumes, because of the 38.2%. Any questions so far? Thì chỉ mua lỡ là chỉ của họ thảm chỉ so the trend line để sẽ cùng draw với cả này. I know that trend line is probably the most confusing to me as a beginner at one point. I still am a beginner for trend line, and in many ways, the or how do you do it? How do you not do it? What can you do? What can't you? What are you supposed to do and what are you not supposed to do? Trend line to pull, look for the major or daily chart. You usually draw the line like daily chart. You could look for a major idea, only a major areas. This is one major area. This is one major area. The major area then will connect a dot. Then I'll just extend the line to where that is. So a lot of people, they have different way of doing it. And talk about only now, pointer okay, now you're a little easy with deep low, and I'm going to move down to intraday. That's where I need to be. And that was a 1 year time frame. So I'm going to do 360. And I'm going to zoom into this area. Mostly, Martin phần chống lợi qua lợi cho mà lợi chia multiple touches. But for me, I put mine at the very top. It should come up soon. So right here is almost there. I just need to readjust it a little bit and then extend the line too. Right extension. And that's my trend line. And I'll move back to the daily chart. So that's my trend line. If you were to think about this line right here, could be another line right there. If you think about at the okay, right here could be another line going through like that. Confusing chart of when are you going to stop drawing trend lines? Over the years, we'll figure out how to I just do one major trend line and that's it. I don't do much of other lines. Because of that, when you have multiple trend lines like this one right there, yeah, the break the knot, the retest the knot, that's true. But what about this little hill right there? Are you going to do another line right here too? Are you going to do another line right there too? Are you going to do another line right here too? How many more lines are you going to do? It's just to me it's just becoming so crowded on my chart. In the crowded only trade. As a lot of you know, I'm not as young as you guys are. I'm 50-some years old. My mind is not as sharp as it used to be. So I like it to be very simple. As the more simple, the better for me. So that's the line I use. Sometimes people draw instead of the high, can draw from or opening. Connect connect or close because then you know for sure that price begin to end on that. But me, I like to push the envelope slightly. I like to push it a little bit at maximum. So line the price most likely near Chitakana. Yet in the moon toppler, that's one thing that in the moon toppler, in the closed toppler shawlogy, most likely honey Titakala, it's almost not it's often Chitakala. So that's how I usually observe and how I usually see how price is like. So trend line for more question to the chart to fix the point you want to ask specifically how to draw trend line in the chart fix show the chart fix show. This is the reason everything we talk about the fix this this is the VIX. This is the most crowded that it ever gets. Cho line the no, cho line tata no, draw based on rounded number. Here, or major support here resistant to the Latin bounce stock, something like this. Walk in your major look something like this. And in the past, past data looks like this. Yeah, how long? Here it's about 14.99, which is about 15 anyway. Going by the okay, price to talk on it, price kind of there. Price bounce around this area right here. The bounce around Pontahola, you know. And then over here, after pandemic, in price it definitely comes back to here and bounce back. So this line at 15 is, to me, is a very important line. The knot here, the knot is roughly about 20. Correct, the knot in 20.03. This is 24.78. This is 28.85, slightly off from 30. This is 35.99, a little bit more than 35. This is 40. Okay, they almost lined up to your major rejection here or supports everywhere. Hot trend line, as you can see, hot trend line, the most recent downtrend line, which is the high here and the high there, and connect the two dots, and then it just comes straight down. And there's a adjustment, not the share or not adjustment. All of these I do not adjust because of the first couple lines, the first two initial dots are connected, and that's going to dictate the rest of it. Same as down here, this dot right there and that dot right there are connected, and they form an upline, an uptrend line. Our most recent broken to New Friday and New on the So the other one that I removed is this one here. I've removed that one. You didn't pop your video up. I removed it because it's no longer valid. The line broke here and it came back test right there, and it's off the chart. And this one doesn't even come close anymore. So some line like Gucci is what top that is. That's basically how I draw support and resistance line. Should the model know that she clarified such a non that you know you the niche more and a monaco bata silinas. Any questions, any comments are welcome before we leave today.
Could you explain how Wix impacts SPY for those that don't know?
How volatility index now, how the impact was S&P 500 long.
Yep.
Okay. That's a little bit different from today's topic, but I could certainly try to explain that. Let me bring another chart, which you guys often see I post. And that's that chart. By the way, this is the $2,000 challenge account, and it's live data right here that you guys see. Okay, so SPY, my S&P 500 is a collection of 500 stocks, and just 500 stocks now New York London or New York London or Dow Jones, New York London NASDAQ, then New York London or just small cap and micro cap, like choose your cheap or the low your companies like Charto or Ecos Standard. These are the companies that we are going to group together as a benchmark for S&P for American market as something called S&P 500. Chị Giao Linh đó là chị của Thế Ly và bỏ thì ok. do hai tia nút từ Nasdaq nu chỉ kia liền giờ thì thầu nu kia một đôi số nó là nhớ đi ta kia nó tụi nó được bông một đôi số nó là mà chỉ có bỏ thì từ volatility index nó liền từ VIX nó này. This VIX right here. Let me change to 15-minute chart. This VIX right here will be impacted by shape the way the stocks the kiếm trong này. So the Nasdaq mua share là to Russell 2000 nu kia là to Russell 2000 kiếm nhưng to Nasdaq là nó chỉ impact VIX impact to volatility index. Giờ thì thằng impact of volatility index nó là vì nó có thì S&P 500 này chỉ là a collection of every other stocks là hậu xứ chỉ giờ thì chỉ giờ thì VIX nó chỉ một chỉ lò liền nó nè. And let me put SPY into the picture. So then you can see that yesterday or Friday, the volatility index was way down here, and then it gapped up, and then it never came back. And you can see that SPY also gapped down in the Japanตัวเท่าขนาดหนึ่งป้องจากนั้นเราเลยนะthey just wiggle around in the Japan เราเลยนะnó sẽ chỉ thầu trong nó là chỉ tụi nó sẽ wiggle around in the Japan so SPY here or volatility index is almost go hand in hand in the opposite direction. How different may they thought Nasdaq more Raminji, the Nasdaq more S&P 500, like SPY two Mushia Shola. Tashima volatility index new Chipompi, the donation Ketatasu, we talk idea to Russell 2000 is tanking like there's no tomorrow. So work all together. In the past, people asked me how SPY volatility index work together. I have to go back to or indices. Okay, indices okay now influence. Beta indices. No, these three influence this one. So depend at the shape, tụi nó mua ra đâu là chỉ tụi nó là cắt xí, bây giờ thì tụi nó chỉ mua sáu trả tá đi nó xí, thì tụi nó mua ra đâu là thế tụi nó mua ra đi nó là SPY cũng mua đi nó thế, bây giờ thì tụi nó bông là đâu có nó. There are days that you guys know that Nasdaq is just 100 point in red. This my Dow Jones could be 20, 30 above water. Like Dow Jones could be 100 above at the previous day close. There is a fight between different sectors and different industries, and oftentimes people call this rotation, industry rotation. Chỉ thầu trong nó chỉ SPY chỉ có một cái từ shi tu chỉ SPY cho ta thì đó. So thầu biết thà so SPY truly it's all about these three working together, influencing SPY, and these three will influence volatility index, which is this one right here. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yes.
Good. Any others? I'm sure 那些用包了一些的时候 some of these concept are new 要点么的样的只能是的好啥考古的看了么谈真正早那了古应中学的看了么谈的考古包也的呀古只包了那了我上的就好的都包了是的么的对古话的这些的么呢有样一么我 more some good information 就是的比我也有还的点 so much information great stuff thank you 我找也我找个整个话题 and thank you so much 古话的这些的么呢有样一么上就是的也得是的只么的只了那些古兰经的老师啊也得摸那些 now is your chance before I close the session
No, I do. Open up.
Okay.
Okay. I think this time ago, each one day, like I think a buy signal and sell signal. You said that's something that you created yourself, or is that it's not on the platform itself?
That is not something on the platform, something I created. So you cannot
Oh,
find
that's
it.
really, yeah, that's really useful. I think. Like,
Yeah, like for example, like right here, the red, the green, the yellow, or the arrow, the red arrow, the green arrow, all of these are all by me. Some of the logics I borrowed from the platform. 的什么我 the actual indicators now when you need to buy, when you need to be cautious, when you need to sell, things like that. It's all created by myself. And I spent probably several years figuring things out.
but that is something that you could share with us. Maybe, I don't know.
Unfortunately, no. I've got some plans on it, so it's not something I can share right now. I certainly can post it every now and then. Okay, the buy signal is coming up. The buy signal is today. Let's say, like for example, like
Okay.
this candle right here. I could say that it's a buy signal, but it's buy cautiously, things like that. And I could say that on the group messaging, but it's not something that I would like to share openly to everyone yet.
We can pay, but whenever you're ready to take offer a class.
Yeah, this is really simple. To me, 我哋個係不打不要一定能冇能用了呢。啲個至少有兩樣的 computer engine 中 24/7。啲個啥啲 First of all, I want to enjoy time with my children, with my spouse, go to places, maybe go to the community, maybe do other things. Our system dictates by itself. And thankfully, nhất là họ và Thinkorswim là more ít họ và automatic trading. So you kind of like a robot, but it's like halfway robot, not quite there. And like Johnny Tashinai, this little thing right here that you can see, 1 MKT. All right. When I have a sell signal like this in the future, just sell it for me. I don't have to be here to do it. Just do it for me. So I don't have to be worried about when I need to exit because the system will exit it for me.
We want to be like you too.
So
yeah.
That's
something I like to learn. It's one day.
It's coming up. If you guys are interested about that, it's coming up, and just keep me in the loop. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm interested. Keep it on my list. If whenever you're ready.
Maybe the October to November, there might be something coming up. But you see, một cái và cũng thả to open little shut up. Một cái cũng thả thì cũng trong chế thế nào. So which was that I opened it there. When I do that, I get yelled at by other people too. So
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, guys, girls, ladies? Okay, chúng mua lỡ nó chỉ bé sinh trí nói chỉ sao đó thì bé mua lỡ nó chỉ chúng mua open communication gì là and you can always private message me if you don't want anyone else to see. You can always write in the group messaging and I will respond to it. You can always write on my page. I can always respond to it. And the payment list is thả tuần demo mà nó nhớ giống như là mà linh chi này cho để lúc gì lử lúc cha lúc nhau see record with video thì lử lúc gì tiền là thì that's kind of in my head. Mà linh chi sẽ là cho để lúc cha lúc nhau như thế mà cái topic này là sao gặp bố là một thằng cho gì thì của báo thế nào là I'll be happy to do that. Giờ thì chỉ mua là như thì của báo chỉ cho nó là bên mà đi bộ thọ cho báo cho tôi thắc hay đâu bên như trong này sẽ là này sinh chỉ đó